Welcome to the WedCo Podcast, your ultimate guide to the wedding world. Whether you're a bride, groom, or wedding vendor, this is the place to be. Join us as we dive into real stories, expert advice, and behind-the-scenes insights to help you plan the perfect day. So grab a seat and let's celebrate love, connection, and creativity together. Before we get into this episode, I'd love to ask you a super quick and easy favor. If you're enjoying the WedCo Podcast, please hit that follow button on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube. It might seem small, but it makes a huge difference in helping the podcast grow and means I can keep bringing on amazing vendors to share their insights with you. Thank you so much for your support. It truly means the world. Hello and welcome to the WedCo Podcast. I'm Toga, and today on the couch, I've got David from Wedflow with me.
How's it going?
Thank you so much for coming up,
It's
mate.
my pleasure, man. Good to be here.
Man, super excited. We're running like a little mini series at the moment for wedding vendors.
Love it.
In the past, it's all kind of just been interviewing vendors for our brides and grooms.
Yep.
And then, just over the last year, really, we've just had so many people reach out like, hey, bookings are slow. We need help in this area.
Yep.
So pretty much just bringing experts on in their field.
Yep.
To be able to help out the rest of the industry.
I love it, man. That's awesome. Very cool.
Usually we'll kind of start with a little bit of a backstory for you in weddings, in the wedding space.
Sure.
And then also how Wedflow came to be.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah. So my name's David. I'm the founder of Storytellers Wedding Collective in Sydney. We do 300 weddings a year. So it's a busy year for us. So that's amazing. We do, like weddings across Sydney, the Southern Highlands, South Coast. So it's really, really cool. We have an amazing team, which is great. So it's been an interesting journey, like building that from scratch. We started 5 years ago, so it's been a wild journey. And then I'm the founder of No Bear Weddings. So we're a international luxury destination wedding studio that captures weddings all around the world. This year we've shot in Italy, we've shot all throughout the US, like California, New York, Connecticut, Florida as well. So it's it's been very cool to travel and shoot weddings and do that with Novare. So that's very exciting. And then lastly, we're starting Wedflow. So we just launched it. It's something we've been working on for the last 18 months. And it's something like I'm really excited about. I don't think there's anything like this in the industry yet. The wedding industry, as you know, like lags behind technologically. People are launching rocket ships. For us, many people don't even have like CRMs. It's crazy. So we've just launched Wedflow, and so I'm really excited about that as well. But I think so my story started in 2020. I had a background in marketing. My friend got married. I was around cameras at the time. I thought I'd do some video as well. And I'm like, dude, weddings are awesome. Like weddings are amazing. And so I'm like, let's do this. So left my job, started a wedding company, and then we went straight into COVID. So that was fun. Like in Sydney, I don't know what it was like here.
Yep.
You've got a beach.
We were free, mate.
You're free. Dude, we were like caged like rats. It was crazy. And so like we had a 5 kilometer radius. Like we couldn't go outside of that. I remember my office is like 2 minutes from my house. Like I could just walk across the park. And I remember we had a 9 p.m. curfew, and I was working late. I forgot about the curfew, and I was walking across the park. I was the only one in the park during COVID, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna get arrested. And my house is like 200 meters away, and I'm almost there. And so, so that was crazy. Like that was a real learning curve for us because I just started a business, and then all of a sudden, things started off really well, and then all of a sudden the whole economy shuts down, the whole world shuts down, and so. That was a really interesting learning curve, but I think one of the things, I think we did a lot of things wrong and it was a good learning curve. I think one of the things we did right was that we committed, I just decided we're going to keep running ads. Mm-hmm. And even though the economy shut down, you have to be optimistic and hopeful and have a plan for the future. So I'm like, we're just going to keep running ads anyway. And the cool thing about that was we were the only ones running ads. And so people couldn't go out, they were stuck, and we were just there on their screens. And so I remember we were even though it was tough and we weren't getting a lot of bookings, when we came out of COVID, we were ready to go because we'd been sowing the seeds, we'd been laying the groundwork. And so that really set us up to explode. And so since then, it's been really just working out how to not just market a business, how to run a business. And so it's been a whole thing, just learning how to train photographers. As I was saying before, we have probably 25 to 30 photographers and videographers. Most of them we train from scratch. Oh, yeah. So we brought them in on a Thursday. We have a culture meeting. We have this is who we are. This is what we do. We train them. We have workshops each week. And so that's we have weekly reviews for people and shooters. So that's something we're that took a lot of trial and error as well. But that's something we're really proud of. I think our we have amazing shooters. A lot of them like do Novair, and they travel around the world shooting weddings, which is really cool as well. And then this year we went to the Philippines. Like I heard you're on the Philippines as well, which is awesome. So this week we went to the Philippines, we went to Manila, we hired like this venue, and we brought in like 15 film editors. We did a workshop with them, did the same thing for video and for photo and video, and for admin as well. So that's been a huge unlock for us as well.
Wow.
It's crazy. I'm not sure how you'll find in like your experience with the Philippines, but we'd obviously been working with a lot of editors in Australia. And our experience is that like the Filipino editors are a lot better than the Australian editors. Amazing work ethic, very creative. I think Canva just moved like 10,000 jobs over to the Philippines. Like, it's crazy. Like it's very strange to me that I think more photographers should be like anything they don't like doing, they should be moving that to the Philippines as well. So, so that's been a big thing we've been working on. And then lastly, we've had Novair and then also Wedflow. So it's been a lot going on at the same time, particularly with like managing storytellers, making sure that it moves forward, because the goal isn't to maintain. We want to make sure we're growing and multiplying and moving things forward. And then the same with Novair, and then the same with Wedflow. And so we've never developed an app before, but I can jump into it a bit. It really came about because like as we grew our business, like as we were getting bookings, and I'm sure you can probably feel the same way, we're like, this is amazing, this is so great. And then all of a sudden, like the backlog comes and the emails come, and wedding time comes, it gets busy, and we're just drowning in emails. And I remember like the team was just so burnt out. Like I was burnt out, the team was burnt out, everyone was burnt out. And we tried like email templates, we tried like planning, like wedding planning guides. We did like timing guides, everything to like pre-answer the questions for you. Like here's the answers to the questions you're already going, like you haven't even asked yet. And so that helped, but we found there was like a lot of emails that would just slip through the cracks that didn't, like a template couldn't solve, or like a planning guide couldn't solve. And so we really tried a lot of different tools. We tried Fixer and a lot of different AI tools, and we really found that nothing was there for wedding creatives. Like you couldn't add travel fees, you couldn't add pricing, you couldn't add your own templates or FAQs. And so we really decided we had to build it ourselves. And so that's kind of what we've been doing for the last 18 months, is really working on Wedflow. And so we've just launched it. We've been beta testing it with 15 wedding photographers from around the world. It's been awesome. We really had to it was very insightful. Basically we got so much feedback, and it really resulted in us having to redesign a lot of the website, a lot of the app, which was fun. And especially before the launch as well. So that's been a whole thing as well. And so since launching, we've had a lot of really great feedback. So I'm very excited. I think I'm very pumped to let the world know about Wedflow, because I think it'll be a huge unlock for wedding creators, the same way that Imagine AI and Aftershoot is a huge unlock for wedding creators. I think Wedflow will also be a huge unlock for wedding creators. And I think it's so strange as well, like coming off if I'm rambling, but I think we're in like a new revolution. Like you had the Industrial Revolution, you had in Germany, you had the Gutenberg printing press revolution, spread literacy and the Reformation all throughout Europe and the West, and now and then you had the Industrial Revolution. You had small technological revolutions like the radio, and now we have the AI revolution, and this is like saving photographers hours and hours and hours each week. Whether it's like Aftershoot, which is amazing, and Imagine AI and Narrative Select. It's amazing that we're in the midst of this season, or like this era in time that I think like photographers 20 years ago would have dreamed about. And it's crazy that a lot of photographers aren't making the most of this season. They're not jumping on these technological revolutions. And I think we should really be riding this wave. Like I hear a lot of photographers complain about how they don't have enough time, and how they wish they could spend more time with their family, or working more on their business, and how they're burnt out. And a lot of them aren't even riding these waves. And it's well, the solution's there. It's just you haven't really jumped on and ridden the wave. So I think we're in a very, very exciting time.
I think so. And so what I hear is you're not busy at all. You're very quiet.
Yeah, it's pretty chill. Yeah, it's good. It's chill. Yeah. The Byron life. Yeah.
Man, there's a lot to unpack there. I love it. I didn't know your backstory as well.
Yeah.
So man, there's so many little bits and pieces I want to pick apart.
Happy to go wherever. Yeah.
Just that, also being in the wedding industry, how much you're already utilizing systems, people, AI already, and then still kind of essentially scratching your own itch and being this is what we need.
Yeah.
and like you're already the test case.
Yes. Yeah.
If you can have 300 weddings a year for one of your brands,
Yeah.
like most people are having maybe 30. You know,
Yes.
most photographers, videographers, you know, maybe 30 weddings a year.
Yeah.
So if you can handle 300,
Yes.
there's no reason why they can't handle 30.
That's right, 100%. And like we don't just use it for storytellers, we use it for Novair. Novair only does like 30 to 50 weddings a year that are like luxury, and super high end. And I even encourage like photographers who are just starting out. Like I was listening today to a podcast you did, I think, with Stephen Healy.
Yeah. Yep.
And he was saying how when he'd started out, he kind of had inbox anxiety where he was late to, like, there were films that he hadn't been sent out. He was scared to go into his inbox because he didn't really have anything to tell the couples except it's not ready.
Yep.
And he already, like, you know, that's something you've already told them before. And we really experienced the same thing. Like I was speaking to Josh J, he's a coach from Sydney, he's amazing. And he was saying how like a lot of his clients, they won't post on Instagram because they haven't replied to a couple in their emails. And I'm like, that's crazy.
Yep.
And so the cool thing about it is, like, I think even like starting out as a wedding photographer, whether you're like, it's not just for people who have like an established brand or they're a studio or they're killing it like you are. I think it's also for people who like, they're just starting out, you want to scale like sustainably, you want to grow sustainably. And because it can help with like a lot of the things that you're encountering. Like, I think like I remember when we started out, we were obviously late to films as well because we didn't really know, we didn't expect everything to accumulate like as much as it did.
Yep.
We had editors drop out, and so that created like a backlog, and that snowballed into like this huge like Mount Everest. And so like, I think one of the things was like, if I'd looked back on that time and said, well, if there was an email in my inbox that was already written that I could just send off, I didn't have to invest the emotional energy, I didn't have to like get over that inbox anxiety. It's already written for me. I can just send. They have clarity. I've done my job. Then I would have loved that. And so I think for new photographers starting out, this is like an amazing way to grow and to scale sustainably. You don't need to wait for like to become a successful photographer. I think you really want to get like principles like the fundamentals like ads and marketing and sales and admin and all these things like systems like you were talking about, all these things in place from the beginning. The earlier you can implement it, the less work it is later on. I think when you have a lot of weddings, like I'm sure you know, when you have like 65 weddings a year or whatever it is, it's a lot harder to implement all these systems when you had like one or two every month. And so like definitely I think I'd encourage everyone to, not just with Wedflow, but with Aftershoot and Imagine AI and Narrative Select and whatever AI tool there is, like 11 Labs, I think you should be jumping on these now. And I think we're like very privileged to be in this like crazy, unique moment in time where we can actually like jump on these revolutions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, it gives you the chance to focus more on the actual weddings.
Yeah.
Coming back to like email anxiety, it's like sometimes it can almost feel harder to reply to an email than to edit a whole wedding. You know, it's just like, it's like, you just I'll get to that email. I'm just going to edit all their photos and then I can reply to the email.
Yeah.
So I definitely understand that feeling as well. And even what I found for like Wedflow, the real benefit, we'll talk about like the features and everything soon.
Yeah.
But was in my CRM, I'm using like Tave now with Visco. Awesome. Was like, okay, after 24 hours after, they get an email about cool, all the photos are backed up and everything.
Yeah.
And then like a week later, 3 weeks later, we're editing your photos and videos. It's coming along. So we kind of put all those systems in place.
Yeah.
But then it was like the random emails in between that they're the ones that slip through the cracks where you're doing stuff already and, hey, my makeup artist needs to know when you need everything done by.
Yes.
And they're the ones like, I'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Because like in your mind, it's not high priority for you.
Yes.
It is for them.
That's a great point. Yeah.
But it just, you don't have, it feels like it's a lot more energy input just to answer that one
That's right.
than let it slip through.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think, having that, like you said, it's already a pre-drafted email and it's like kind of fetching your other emails to work out, okay, cool. Well, if the ceremony's at 3 o'clock, we want this done by then.
Yeah.
It's just nice to know most of that's done. I might need to adjust a tiny bit and then cool, we're done.
That's right. And so like, it's not sending off emails for you. It's creating a draft and you can tweak it, you can send it. And as you said, like it learns from the tweaks. So if you like, don't like, it might use like a word that you don't like and you can change that and then it will learn from that. And so like, it's great for like you said, there's so many in between emails. Like we, because we have a lot of weddings, every now and then we'll get a Karen. And we had one, like it's just, I'm sure everyone gets Karens. We get it like, because we do a lot of weddings, we get a few more.
Yes.
That's our blessing. And so we had one Karen, beautiful lady. She said, she sent us a message saying, like you sent an intern to my wedding and the camera was too small. And so we like there was no intern. We don't have interns. Like she'd been shooting with us for like 4 years. It was an A7 IV with like a battery grip and a 28-75.
Yep.
And so it wasn't like a small camera. And like, it's crazy that Wedflow was able to respond. We don't have interns, and this was the camera it was using, because it was able to see from previous emails, like how we responded to not the same, but kind of similar questions in the past. And so just things like, just little things like that, it's really helpful for. Like, the cool thing about it is like, so we really wanted to not have to, we were really hoping that there was a tool out there already. Like we thought like, there's Imagine AI that edits photos for you. Like, of course there's going to be something for emails. And so we tried, I think the main one is Fixer. It's like more of a corporate one.
Yep.
And we tried it out. We're like, where can we add our price in? Where can we add our travel fees? And we couldn't. So we're like, okay, that's a problem.
Yep.
And so the cool thing about Wedflow is like, if you like a lot of these commonly asked questions, like, like what's your dietary requirements, public liability, like certificate insurance.
Yep.
How much for an additional photographer or an additional hour? All these things Wedflow can answer. You can add like your certificate of insurance, you can add pricing, and it can just answer from that. And so instead of you having to copy and paste the template or to respond manually every time, you can just put that into Wedflow, and Wedflow will just, so you can put that into Wedflow once, and then Wedflow will answer with that from there on. So yeah.
Amazing.
I think it's very cool.
And even like, so obviously admin and everything, emails go well when you are quieter. Like coming up to like December, January, like I'm right on top of all of that.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And then it's like once you get into the busy season, that it's like you said, it starts snowballing a little bit.
Yeah.
And even like I find like we're trying to integrate this into make it like a holistic business.
Yeah.
Cool. We're paying for ads.
Yes.
We're getting 30 to 40 leads per month.
Yeah.
But then when you're busy, you might get 6 or 7 leads come through in one day.
Yes, that's
and
right.
you're shooting a wedding, and I don't have time to get back to that.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the benefit as well. I don't know if it's designed this way, but I've just been how you can kind of put in the dates you aren't available.
Yes.
So as soon as I book a date, I'm just like, cool, I'm not available this one.
Yeah.
So at least I know it'll do a draft. Like, cool, we're still available for this date. Have the collections and everything like that, and then I can kind of just push send.
Yeah.
So if we're driving in between bride and groom prep or something like that, at least I can get back to them.
Yeah.
And then know that the day after I'll actually be able to properly get back.
Yeah.
Whereas it used to just be, if I had 2 or 3 in a row, it might honestly be 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
And they've emailed, 8 or 9 people.
Yes.
And I've just spent, $50 or $60 for each of those leads. You're like, cool, that's $400 gone.
Yeah.
Because I was too busy.
Yes, that's exactly right. I heard I was listening to Alex Hormozy today, and he said like if you had your most important employee, he's like they're the best employee you had, they're the best at like whatever it is they do. Would you have them doing a generic task, or would you have them doing like what they're best at, where their gifting is, where their like gray zone is, where they really flourish? And he's like, of course you would. And he's like, you're the most important employee that you have, and you're like the only employee you have. Why are you spending time like on menial tasks when you can have Wedflow, and you can have AI, and you can have people from the Philippines carry the load so that you can focus on like what you really should be focusing on? And I think like we always I like to say, you're the captain of the ship. And so your job running a business as a leader, as a founder, it's not just to make sure that the ship is well oiled and clean and that people are doing their job. Your job is to make sure the ship goes somewhere. And so you need to have a vision, you need to have a destination, and make sure that your company's growing, you're multiplying, your team's growing, whatever it is you're doing, you're starting education or you're starting this hustle, this project. Your goal is really to make sure that you're moving forward. And so I really find it hard for many creatives to do that if you're not outsourcing, if you're not like delegating to the Philippines, if you're not like relying and using AI to support what you do. I think you really need to, if you want to grow, if you want to move forward, if you want to have like a more fulfilling life, I think you really need to, we like to say like the slogan, which we've copied from a man called Craig Rochelle, is we say we automate, delegate, and eliminate. So whenever we have a problem or a task, we either automate, delegate, eliminate. That's what we do. So can we cancel it? Can we eliminate it? Do we even need to do it in the first place? All right, if we can't eliminate it, if it's something that we that's absolutely vital, let's delegate it to the Philippines. If we can't delegate to the Philippines, let's automate it. And so I think most creatives and wedding vendors should really go through their business. What can I automate, delegate, and eliminate so that I can make sure that I'm doing things that grow the business, that give me back more time and push things forward.
And like my goal for like the last 5 years has been, I went through a season of like, I've been doing this for 14 years.
Nice.
I did really well at the start, and then kind of got to a point, same thing, you get a bit of overwhelm and you're like, I just want to shoot for other people because I love shooting weddings, but I don't want to deal with all the other stuff.
Dude, yeah.
And I feel like a lot of photographers, videographers, 5 years in or something like that will get to that stage where they're like, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
And so they'll be like, I'll just shoot any weddings. And I'll kind of like, well, why don't I get myself into that position where I've got a business, essentially get to the point where I'm rocking up, I'm shooting the weddings, and then everything else is taken care of.
Yeah.
And I just feel like there is such a big opportunity for people because it's having a big family as well. It's like shooting 60 weddings a year for other companies isn't sustainable. Like it's not, you know, it's cool to kind of fill in work here and there.
Yeah.
But if you don't have, you know, say another partner who has a full-time job as well, or you've got a different full-time job and you can kind of do that on the weekend, it's pretty tough.
Yeah.
And so like that was the goal in the last few years was like, okay, cool. What does that need to be?
Yeah.
And then that is like, okay, Philippines, like I used to get to about 30 weddings and I knew I couldn't edit more videos than 30.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool, let's get someone else to do that.
Yeah.
And like they can comfortably do 40 that are so much better than mine. Like I get back there because like I'll still do the final, you know, 15% on it.
Yeah.
But I get it back from them and I've told them the story of the day and everything. And I'm like, dude, there's no way I could have done that. You know, like I just like this smile on my face. I'm like, this makes me look good, you know? But yeah, just like being able to actually utilize people for their skills.
Yes. Yeah.
And I mean, I've said it a lot of times, but like you look at Hollywood films.
Yeah.
Is the shooter editing? Are they doing the marketing? Are they doing the admin? Like, no, it doesn't make sense.
That's exactly. And like the cool thing as a business owner is like, you get to decide the type of business that you want to run, the lifestyle that you want. So like if you love editing, you can do editing, you can delegate like anything, everything else. If you love shooting, you can do that, delegate everything else. You don't have to, I think like there's this thing in the wedding industry, like you said, where it's like, we think we have to do everything and we become bottlenecks to the organization. And so you're wearing all the hats, you're doing sales and you're doing editing and you're doing shooting. And it's like the mental bandwidth is just spread everywhere. Like your brain's in 10 places. It's on an email you have to answer. It's on a new lead you have to respond to. It's on that film you haven't yet edited. And you just split everywhere. And it's like, no wonder you're not growing. No wonder you're not like happy. No wonder you're burning out and you want to shoot for someone else. It's because you're doing too many things at the same time. And like you said, the Hollywood doesn't do that. Really, no industry does that. It's like, it's a weird, like, it's a bit of a, like, I don't know if it's like it's this hero complex or like it's narcissism or whatever it is, but I think there's a thing in the wedding industry where we have to carry everything ourselves and you don't. Like you can tailor your business to however you want. There's no rules. Like I don't shoot, like I realize like, as I was saying before, I'm an introvert. And so like, I think where I flourish is behind the scenes systems and all these things like, that's really what I enjoy. And so my brother is like the biggest extrovert. He's a golden retriever. He's the guy who's like out doing weddings. And so like, even though I run a wedding business, I don't shoot weddings. That's fine. Like you can honestly, whatever, like wherever like you flourish the most, it's really about does at the end of the day, does your couple get the most benefit and value?
Yes.
And so if like, it's really about like if my brother's better at shooting than me and he's out shooting and I'm working behind the scenes because that's what I'm better at. As long as the couple gets more value, it's a win-win. And that's really how we want to approach it. It's not that you have to do everything yourself. It's really what gives the couple the most benefit and value.
Yeah. And coming back to like utilizing AI, I think people who aren't utilizing it feel like they're doing their couple a disservice.
Yeah.
And like I'll speak to like, you know, I'm coaching a few younger photographers at the moment and it's like, no, you're offering a better product.
Yeah,
like you're offering a better service if you utilize it in the right way.
Yeah.
Because there are some people like, okay, I'm going to chat GPT everything and you're like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's using it sparingly in the right way to help elevate your business. Yeah. Not just for every single little thing.
Yeah. I mean, well, I actually think you're doing, like, if you're not using AI, you're doing your couple a disservice because most likely you're spread too thin. You're in too many places doing too many things at once. And I think you can just like a mental, you know, like just a quick mental model. If you have 2 photographers and one uses Aftershoot and Imagine AI and Wedflow and their editing's done in an hour instead of like 5 hours, you know, the emails, like 50% of the emails are answered with like they just have to make tweaks. Like culling's done instantly, all those things. Like if you like look at that photographer and you put another photographer who's not using those things, the photographer who utilizes AI is the one who's going to most likely be able to give better service on a wedding day because they have more energy. They're like fully there. They're mentally more present. They have more time to actually drive their business forward and to focus on, I think like to really focus on new like services and to bring better service and to implement new things in your business, you need time to do that.
Yes.
And you have to really find the way to buy the time. And so the problem is most photographers and creatives don't. And so they'll try and do it with the same amount of time that they have, and they'll end up burning out. And so I think by not using AI, you're really doing your couple a disservice, because you're wasting time on things that AI can do when you really should be working on and focusing on how can you make the business better? How can you give a better service? How can you deliver better? How can you give a better experience for the couple?
Mm-hmm. I've done it in the past too, where you, at the start of your journey, you will ramp up and learn as much about the actual craft as possible.
Yeah.
And then you kind of get busy and your craft stays at the same level for a long time.
Yeah.
And I found once I had that time back, then you can start actually looking at okay, what is coming out over here? How are people shooting? Because you almost start to notice the trends that are coming through. And maybe the backlit sun flare isn't working anymore and we're kind of moving more this way.
Yeah.
And that's a different way of shooting that you're not used to.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's just you can actually, the amount, we've got Unscripted are 2 houses down from us just here.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And so even looking at Unscripted and being just getting, okay, what other poses don't I usually do?
Yeah.
What light don't I work with?
Yeah.
And rocking up to a wedding day and just feeling a bit more inspired to try different things.
Yeah.
Instead of just in the past, you kind of just another wedding, I know this works, and you kind of just phone it in. You get beautiful shots, but you're not really evolving and growing like you're talking about with the business.
That's right. Yeah. And it's very it's very easy to become irrelevant in the wedding industry because it changes very quickly. So roughly from what I can tell, every 5 years, a big change comes in that just decimates wedding photographers. And it is very important to stay aware with what's happening in the market. One of our culture values is we keep moving forward. And so we like to say that whatever your role is at Storytellers, you're not just defense, you're offense. And so your job isn't just to maintain the ship, to make sure it's moving forward. So how are you growing? How have you increased your capacity? How have you delivered a better experience? Are we going from Dropbox to Vidflow? How have you gotten better at capturing weddings? Have you what new technique of shooting have we implemented? All these things really matter. We want to we have at the end of the year it's a yearly wrap up, and the goal for us is to look back on the year and say with this, the last 12 months, the last 365 days, we've done this. We didn't waste the time. We made the most of the time. We pushed things forward, and so that's really the goal for you. I think I know a lot of creatives who were just focused on. I think they got to a place where they were happy and maybe they settled a little bit and they weren't really focused on moving things forward. And what happened was the industry changed, the style changed. It went, from very boho to very editorial, especially in Sydney. And a lot of them were left without bookings and clients. A lot of, especially during COVID, I saw a lot of heroes of mine who relied on word of mouth, and then no weddings happened. There were no word of mouth. And then they literally they dried up. And I remember speaking to a friend of mine. He had at one point one of the biggest studios in Melbourne, and he just lost a lot of clients because he was word of mouth. And then COVID came, there was no weddings, and then he was he couldn't rely on that anymore. And so he had to move his whole model from word of mouth to marketing. So it's very important. It's kind of I've heard this saying, and I think it's kind of true. If you're not growing, you're dying.
Yep.
And I think that's really true when it comes to weddings. If you're not moving forward, if you're not learning new things, if you're not getting better at what you do, you're probably going backwards. So I think wedding photographers should always be focused on. They should always have a vision. Where are we going? How are we moving forward?
Yeah. We've obviously talked. I feel like we've only kind of really brushed over what Wedflow do. Do you want to talk through some of the features of that?
Yeah.
And then also when do you think is an ideal time for, say, photographers, videographers to start utilizing this as a tool within their business?
Yeah. Okay. So I think so. So Wedflow is an AI assistant built specifically for wedding creatives. So it creates drafts in your inbox, and so you can go to your inbox at 9 a.m. and all your emails are already answered. There's a draft waiting underneath an email, and all you need to do is check that email and press send. You can make some tweaks if you want, but otherwise you can just press send. It's amazing. It saves us personally for Storytellers more than it saves us dozens of hours each week.
Yeah.
We're getting amazing feedback. It's saving wedding creatives hours each week. We have a lot of we have amazing photographers and videographers using it already. I think yourself. Yep. We have Ash Hayes from Melbourne, Josh J. We have some really cool people using it, and it's the feedback we're getting is amazing. Lele as well from Melbourne. So it's really cool. It's exciting seeing it's exciting hearing the feedback, and I think people expect it's going to be this really clunky platform that's different to Gmail, but basically you just connect your account. to Gmail. You create an account, you connect your Gmail account to Wedflow, and it will just start working in the background and creating drafts. And all you need to do is go into your Gmail account and check it and press send. There's no like clunky big buttons or anything like that. And so it's very like intuitive. It's very like native. It's not like some clunky thing that we've added. And so there's a lot of features. One of the features, there's a lot. So I think the first thing is that Wedflow learns by itself. So what it does is whenever you create, whenever you're going over a draft and you're checking it and you're making a tweak, whenever you make a change to a draft, Wedflow will like see the change you made and be like, all right, and it will learn from how you respond, learn from how you change the draft. And so Wedflow will look at how you write and will learn from how you write. So it's very good at getting a sentiment analysis. It's very good at going through emails and saying like, this is how Toga emails, this is how we email. Yep. It's really good at getting like the type of tone of voice and the words you use. And it also learns from like the tweaks you make as well. So it's self-upgrading, which is awesome. It gets better over time. You can connect your Calendly account, which means that it can schedule like, it can like if a couple says like, hey, can we meet this time? It can look at your Calendly account and say, well, there's a meeting this time. Unfortunately, we can't do that. It can help you organize meetings. And again, you can add like almost anything regarding your workflow to Wedflow. So you can add in packages, travel fees, pricing. You can add certificate insurance. And it will use all of that to respond to emails. It even can read, like it's been really great for us. It can read attachments. So if you have like a bride, oftentimes a bride will send through like, hey, here's our run sheet. Can you check it? We've already given it like, this is how we do run sheets. We liked 30 to 45 minutes for the ceremony setup. We like 60 minutes with the groom, 75 minutes with the bride. An hour to 45 minutes for couple shoot. So we have all these things we've given it to Wedflow, and Wedflow can like look at the PDF and then give suggestions based off that. So we've really got it to a point where we're really happy with it. So the cool thing about it is you can like jump on Wedflow now. It takes 2 minutes and you can have your emails answered straight away. Yeah. But not only that, you can jump in and you can fine tune it. So you can really make it your own. You can really like add really anything you want that's wedding related and make it your own and really adapt it to your Wedflow. Really adapted to your workflow, not to your Wedflow. So there's nothing like this in the industry. I'm really excited about it. Yep. I think it's crazy. So we had 30 people apply for so we've been testing it we've been doing a beta test for 2 months. Yep. Before the launch. So 2 months we've been testing it with wedding photographers. We had 30 people apply. We accepted 13, and we asked the applicants. We said, how much hours do you spend each week doing emails, and how many weddings do you do a week? And so we averaged out like the weddings and the emails, and we realized that more wedding photographers spend more time answering emails than they do capturing weddings. And we're like, dude, this is crazy. And then our slogan is like, you became a wedding photographer to capture to tell stories, not answer emails. Yep. And like it's crazy. Like at this point, like I was thinking about it, I'm like, at this point, like if they're spending more time answering emails and shooting weddings, it's like you're an admin person. Exactly. You're not a wedding photographer. And so I think like that's a huge unlock in the industry. I think it will like give people back a lot of time to spend more time with their family, to focus on the craft. And like we have a lot of exciting new rollouts coming out very soon as well. We've had a lot of people from Outlook who are Outlook users. We're going to be rolling that out soon as well. We're working on it's not a bot, but it's something like a bot that joins your Zoom meetings. Oh, wow. And so it can take notes and then use those notes to respond to emails later on for meetings. So we really want it to get as accurate as possible. So so that's kind of what we've been working on. That's some of the features. And I think I'm very excited. I think it'll save wedding photographers a lot of time. And I think it's one of the things that there hasn't been, like typically the wedding industry is very slow to advance technologically. Yes, definitely. Like usually like most of the ads and sales things that we're doing, like other industries like the e-commerce industry we've been doing for decades.
They're just laughing at.
Yeah, we're just like, dude, you just discovered that now. And so I think it's really like that when it comes to emails. A lot of the like other industries, creative industries and real estate and other industries are already using AI to automate the emails, and I think it's about time that the vendors in the wedding industry did as well. Yeah. Yep.
Even like working with a whole bunch of different people to grow the business at the moment, and you talk to people who specialize in sales. Yeah. And like everything they're teaching me is so primitive to them, and like like really,
it's like mind blowing to us. Yeah, we're like whoa. Yeah.
What? You got to call leads.
Yeah. It's crazy. It really is.
But like even when I first joined up with Wedflow, and I just thought it would from that point onwards, start drafting emails. And then I remember going back into my Gmail after that and just like seeing the list of drafts. And then I started to realize like how many emails I hadn't got back to as well.
Yeah.
And you're like, cool. Okay. And then it's like, seriously, I sat there for, man, it wouldn't have been half an hour, but there would have been about 20 emails. And I'm just like kind of looking, yep, cool. That sounds good. Change this, boom. But like, it was so just, and like you said, it is really intuitive. Like the amount of times I would write an email, go to ChatGPT, say this in my voice, back over again, and just like so many like wasted time that way because I wanted it to sound good.
That's right. Yeah.
And then even like you said with the so I'm using Fathom at the moment. So when I do a sales call, especially with the guys I'm working with, they're like, "Can you please record every one?"
Yeah.
And then they just laugh at me and hound me at how I do sales calls. But even like stuff like that, and you'll speak and you'll know something's really important in that conversation.
Yes.
But then transferring those notes over to, you know, a CRM or something like that, you just don't.
Yeah, that's right.
And then the couple will talk to you and expect that you know and remember what they were talking about.
It's tough, yeah.
Yeah, so even like those little integrations, you can see where this could kind of go to over time as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, our goal is really to integrate everything as much as we can. We've tried not Honeybook, sorry, we've tried Studio Ninja.
Yep.
They don't allow integration, but Dubzado and a lot of the platforms are definitely on the horizon as far as connecting to them as well. So we're very excited about that. But yeah, I think in general, wedding photographers, like you said, like it will go through and go back on previous emails for the last, I think, 12 hours and respond to those. So if you like right now, if your inbox is full, why don't you just jump on, give it like a trial? It'll respond to your emails in like a matter of minutes. And even if you're not happy with it or whatever it is, it will save you like some time. And so I definitely recommend trying it out and having your emails answered in minutes.
Amazing, mate. I'll just touch a little bit more on like AI in general.
Sure, yeah.
Where like you're essentially at the forefront in the wedding game as far as AI goes.
Yeah.
Where do you think this kind of takes our industries in the next 3 to 5 years? Yeah. What do you see happening there?
Yeah, well, I think I think this is just the beginning. So I think we're seeing amazing. Like I think there's no doubt. Like what's happening with Aftershoot and Imagine AI is incredible. Narrative Select is incredible. Like when I first use it for the first time, I'm like, this is amazing. So it's like magic. And so that's really just the beginning. I'm really excited to see someone do something when it comes to editing wedding films. Yes. That's going to be a huge unlock. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I think that's going to be a very interesting one. And I definitely think it's possible. I think you're going to see a lot happen with like, man, I'd love to see something like Starlink where like you're shooting a wedding and like as you're shooting, it's been like synced to a Dropbox straight away on a cloud or something like that. So there's like in our wedding industry, there's so much room for innovation, and we're really just getting started. And so like I'd encourage people to be optimistic. Don't be skeptical. Just give it a go. And I think people who've tried like Imagine AI and all these things like already have a good sense that this is a real thing. It's not just a bubble. It's not just hype. It's actually it's really just the new reality. And it's crazy. Like going back to the whole. Like, are you doing your couple a service or disservice using AI? I really think you're like a farmer with a pickaxe during the Industrial Revolution. I really think we're having this amazing technological revolution, and like I think to me it's almost like arrogant to say like I'm going to stick to using my pickaxe and I'm gonna like even though there's electric cars, I'm gonna keep driving around my horse and I'm gonna keep like using my typewriter. It's like, dude, it's 2025. Things have moved on. And like a lot of things that photographers complain about, like not having enough time, like being burnt out, it's amazing that we live in a time where there's solutions for that. And it's really not on like, which really means that it's on you for not trying it out. Yeah. So I'd really encourage you, like, don't waste this moment. Like try whatever AI tools there are available. But I definitely think there's going to be a lot more to come. I think we're just getting started. So I really think like emails, I think wedding edits, photo and film can be done. I think you can be shooting a wedding. They can be going to like a Dropbox, and one day you can have like a Filipino or someone editing it that night. I really think like we're going to see a really like a more efficient wedding photographer and videographer, and I think that's a good thing.
Yes.
Like I think the difference will be you'll have a photographer who doesn't use AI. And they'll kind of be left behind. They'll be doing everything manually. couples won't really care because they won't really know. And they're going to be really taking the load on themselves mentally, emotionally. They're going to have less time to focus on things that grow the business. So they're going to have less money, and they're going to be a lot more burnout in general versus the photographer who jumps on these new revolutions and has more time, has more mental capacity, has more emotional capacity, and mental and emotional energy, and can actually like drive the business forward because they have the mental bandwidth to focus on other things outside of like just what they're doing and what's immediately in front of them.
Exactly. I think to the point of being left behind, like that really, I was so close 5 or 6 years ago to that happening to me where same thing, I had venues, they gave me referrals all the time. And like you said, the referral train just dried up.
Yeah.
And it took me an empty calendar to be like, oh, I need to start advertising now. Because before that stage, I hadn't had to.
Yeah.
And I feel like it gets to the point where it's too late and you need to act like super fast, and it still might not work at that stage.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like you kind of do need to adapt. And it's crazy. I'm 39, but I already get that boomer feeling where I'm like, technology.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people in the industry too. Like
Yeah.
it's not even that it's scary, but it's another thing.
Yeah.
You know, but then like once you actually start utilizing, you're like, man, if I had to go back and edit a full wedding from scratch now,
Man, crazy.
well, I remember at the start I had a plugin called Autopod, I think it was, for Photoshop, and you could push like Command 1 to move to the next photo.
Yeah.
And like I was going through 700 photos in Photoshop doing this.
Crazy,
And it's like, it's just wild now. And then even so, the system I use is like my team in the Philippines, they will download all the images, they'll run it through Imagine and cull and edit and everything like that.
Yeah.
But then we get it back and do a final 10% on those edits.
Nice, yeah.
Whereas usually we would get to 90%,
Yeah.
be like, we're wrecked, that's good enough, and send it off.
That's right,
you know?
exactly,
So it's not that the level actually goes up in the delivery, not down.
Yeah.
You know, by utilizing and by making it easier for yourself,
Yeah.
you're leveling up the experience for your couples.
Yeah.
Which is, it's crazy.
Yeah, I personally think like I think it's very hard for human beings to zoom in and zoom out at the same time. So it's very hard for you to be focused on the minute details of the highlights and is this straight and where is the wedding industry going on a macro level. And like it's very hard for you to do both. Usually people don't, so they're really zoomed in on the product quality, or they're just focused on the market, and then there's something missing in their business. And this is the amazing thing about like having really good workflows and having Philippines and having AI is that they can kind of take the minute details off your plate. So you can zoom out and focus on things like, where is the industry going? Like, should we be using advertising? Like, I think even going back to AI, like just what's happening with AI, it's crazy to me like that no one is talking about AI search, because that's the big, so the big unlock for us is ads. And I'm just letting you know, I think that's not going to be the case very soon. I think the big unlock will be AI search. And I don't think photographers are talking about that. But I mean, really, like, just thinking personally how much like I'm planning on going to Europe. I've spent hours on ChatGPT just looking up like, winter places in Europe and all that stuff. Couples are doing the same thing. They're not on Instagram. They're mostly like, they are on Instagram, but they're a large part now on ChatGPT. They're looking for venues, they're looking for vendors, they're looking for photographers. And if you're not there, like you're going to get left behind. And so I think that's a really big thing that photographers need to jump on. It's the new, like the same way that ads and Instagram ads and Facebook ads was an unlock. And word of mouth at one point was an unlock. Now the next unlock I think will be AI search. And I think it's really like really important for photographers to jump on that. But again, even with like just noticing things like that, like trends that are happening in the market, you need to be zoomed out to do that. And you can't be zoomed out and zoomed in at the same time. You really need someone to help carry the load, whether it comes to like emails or editing and the minute details and all these things, so that you can focus on like, where is the wedding industry going? It's crazy. I think we have a tendency in the wedding industry to be a little narcissistic. And unfortunately, I think it's the case. Like I remember a big hero of mine when I first started out, he was like this amazing photographer, traveled the world. And he was like, I'm like, dude, this guy's the man. And he captured a friend of mine's wedding, and I really just adored this guy. And he just made this pivot where he said, I'm going to go just fully black and white. And we're not going to do color photos anymore. We're just going to do black and white photos. And he thought that was kind of like, his thing. And that's really he felt like that was the way he should go. That's really where his passion was. And so he did that, and he just lost all of his couples overnight. And so this was like a figurehead in New South Wales. He was on like, ABC Talks and 30,000 followers and all that stuff. And then he just really just dropped overnight. And I learned from that, like as a young person in the wedding industry, that it's not really about you. Like we like to make it about ourselves and expressing how we feel. And it's about, my artistic identity and all those things. But it's like, if I'm being really honest, I think it's really about the market. And so I think like, it's not about how you feel, it's about what the market feels. And I think you need to be like, I think photographers need to be like, we should be introspective, that's awesome. But I think we need to be looking outward as well. What's happening in the market? What's happening what are the trends that are happening around the world and in Sydney and in Australia? And I think I know so many people who have missed trends and they've missed key moments and they're not doing well because of it, because they're so focused on their identity and their self and all those things. And so I think I think you need to be a little outward looking when it comes to your business, the wedding industry. And to do that, you really need to be zoomed out. To do that, you really need someone to help you carry the minute details.
Love it, mate.
Yeah.
All right. So if people don't want to get left behind and they want to find out more about Wedflow,
yes, yeah.
Where are they going to?
Wedflow.com. You can sign up with one click. Wedflow will answer your emails in minutes. And then you can jump in on the back end. You can fine tune it, make it your own. And yeah, I'm excited to see people join. The feedback's been amazing already. And so, yeah.
Man, thank you so much for coming
My
up.
pleasure,
This has been one of my favorite talks for
my
sure. Like
pleasure.
I love this. So I really, really appreciate it,
Thanks
mate.
for having me, man. I appreciate it.
And yeah, really excited to see where Wedflow goes as well. Like
Yeah.
I feel like with your brain, I feel like there's a lot going on with it. So I'm excited to see where it goes in the year as well.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for having me. It's an honor.
Love it, man.
Thanks for tuning in to the WedCo Podcast. If you love this episode, don't forget to subscribe, follow, and share it with your friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a review or connect with us on social media. New episodes drop every week, so be sure to join us next time for more wedding inspiration, tips, and stories. Until then, happy planning, and we'll see you soon.